We're
probably
live.
leave.
Hello, Weekend Warriors. Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Dojo. And tonight we are joined by our special guest, Geek Level Asian.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry if it's too loud. I'm at a train.
Oh, it's all right. To start off, explain what your YouTube channel is, like what you do, what all you do on your channel.
So I have a YouTube channel called Geek Level Asian. I do a lot of movie reviews. I've recently been doing toy and comic reviews, but it's basically anything that I can geek out about and talk about, I guess, nonstop is what I like to feature. It being Power Rangers, probably my niche, like my favorite geek topic. But I will talk about, like, I do like Marvel, I like DC. I love Todd McFarlane. I love Spawn. Like, I haven't done a lot of Spawn videos. I think the one that I did, I might have actually gotten rid of. But I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry.
I also noticed you love Voltron.
Yes, you're right. And good
Nice
point.
hat.
I'm wearing a Voltron hat. Yeah, totally forgot.
Blue lion right here.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to get it. I always see it every time I go out. Well, Toys R Us, unfortunately, being closed. I was gonna pick one up the other day, but it was still kind of a little bit more expensive than I wanted it to be.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, they're like $20 each. The black line, 30.
Yeah, and adding that up. But again, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, definitely.
We're happy to have you, dude.
Mm-hmm. We're actually trying to do this like a month thing to get another YouTuber on to.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely awesome.
Yeah. All right. So, in terms of other content, like do you have any plans of what you want to do in the future? What you want to?
Well, I definitely cover as much Shattered Grid stuff as I can. I originally didn't do the first 24 issues of the comics because it seemed a little bit more labor intensive than I thought it was actually going to be. And it's actually not that bad. I downloaded the Comixology app, which definitely helped out because I didn't want to like take a bunch of pictures of my purchased comics, because I actually collect the issues. But so there's going to be a lot of Shattered Grid. I definitely want to do like I did an interview recently with this artist at Big Apple Con named Crease Art. He's actually from here in the town that I'm in Long Island, and we had a great conversation, and I interviewed him at Big Apple Con, and I'm hoping to do more of that with artists, different people from different shows. I want to get more into that, and then eventually I would actually like to. I've teamed up with a few guys in the New York City area, Jedi Ninja Ranger, which is his name is Jared, and my friend Manny, who's Midrunner Cosplay. We're going to be doing some stuff together, and I'm hoping to eventually start doing some community events.
The fact you live in New York City sparks another question. You by chance know I know him on Instagram, but it's this guy who's famous for cosplaying Beast.
What's his name?
Hold on. I was
What does he normally cosplay as?
Beast from X-Men.
No, I actually don't know.
Okay. Yeah. You guys are close by. I mean, he was at Midtown Comics last night on one of his streams.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Another guy that I've connected with is two in New York City. I'm not in this. Also, RX Superstar, great dude, and Stuntman Rye. So we're going to be doing some stuff together, hopefully, and we're actually hoping to, do more Power Rangers related stuff. That's actually the topic that I think we relate on the most. So we're probably going to be doing some cool Ranger stuff soon.
Sweet. One other thing, I noticed how you set up your YouTube channel. You do it kind of like Black Nerd. I've noticed. Like
I do.
Yeah,
probably.
I do like that.
I've watched a few of his. I used to watch him a lot, like a long time ago, and then I actually started watching like other like strange blogs. Like, it's actually funny if you're talking about like the camera setup. What I wanted to do was, who has like the best camera quality always? Makeup bloggers. Always. They always have awesome, because that's the point, they have to be able to show their face. So I was like, I want my channel to look nice. So I actually watched a bunch of makeup blogs and like, learning what they use with camera and like lights that they do. So that's kind of where I got my setup from, I had my own camera because I'm a photographer, but when it came to lights, I needed some help because I'm a stills photographer. I'm getting into video now that I actually have the channel, but I didn't know anything about video lights or anything like that, so I had to
maybe
buy some
after
stuff.
maybe after the stream, if you could help us help us write down stuff you use, so that way we can.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll send you Amazon links if you want. I got everything for it was like under $100.
Sweet.
Kick ass.
Yeah. So, Power Rangers. Where did you start? How did you get into it? And where are you with it now?
Where did I start? Well, I guess I should blame the kid who lived around the block from me. Sorry, you're probably hearing the announcements. I don't know if you can hear that. But so there was a kid who lived around the block from me. He introduced it to me by accident. He had the Blue Ranger, like the original figure. And I was like, what is that? And he explained it to me, and I didn't really understand it. And then I saw it on TV. I was like, oh, this is that show that my friend Mike was talking about. And that was it, dude. I was done. I saw one episode, and the first episode I ever saw was Terror Toad, which scared me a little bit. And then the next episode I saw was the Flower Monster. I don't know what his actual name was, but he's the guy who had a...
Isn't Terror Toad the one that there's a YouTube parody on there of him, and he's called Dennis Frogman?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. But Terror Toad's
he's the one that sucks them in, and their helmet shows up on his belly.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the first one I saw. And then I don't know if it was supply and demand, but I know that the toys are really hard to find. So I told my mom oh, I really like Power Rangers now, and she went nuts going to find that stuff, and she did. My mom waited on, I'm sure, many of lines when KB Toys was a thing. I know that she went there all the time. She actually used to take me. There's a mall here in Long Island called Roosevelt Field. We used to call all the toy stores in the area, because I would have the phone book out, and I'd be like, okay, I didn't call KB yet. I'm gonna call the Toys R Us in this area. I'm gonna call and I would look for toys, and if they had them, she would drive me, and we would go get them. But I mean, it really just started out with the loving the show. So I liked it so much that I actually started doing karate as much as I didn't really know how to do karate, but I started doing it, I guess, around the house. And my parents were like, he's starting to break stuff. So they put me in karate. They were like, let's actually, let's have him actually know what he's doing. So I took karate for 8 years. All the way up to probably high school. And then, by that time I had stopped watching. They had already changed the seasons for me too many times. I wasn't into, Turbo when Turbo came out. I appreciate it now. Now I think I get it more. But at the time I was like, where are my Rangers? Where are the guys that I know? What's going on here?
I gotta mention one thing about Turbo. I mean, I loved it when I was a kid. Looking back, I can't stand it. I had the movie on my shelf just as a collector's item. But I refused to.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I think threw me off is that I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Turbo was the first series that didn't have any original Rangers in it after a while. So I think that's where I kind of just disconnected, because I liked Zeo. I mean, I loved when Austin St. John came back, because he was my favorite Ranger at the time, and I was like, oh, great, all right, awesome, he's back. And then all of it ended, and I was like, okay, now they've got a little kid on the team. And again, at the time, I didn't really appreciate that. It's funny, because until I saw Die Ranger and I realized that Kiba Ranger was also a child, that I went back and I I don't even want to say I purposely went back, but I had watched Turbo since then. And I was like, oh, they kind of did the same thing. Okay, I get it. I get what they did here. Understand why they tried this. Because as a kid, I just didn't get it. And also, I was getting to an age when when they did the shiny armor stuff.
Yes.
It was the regular MMPR, but they did the shiny armor, and then they re-released all the toys.
Oh, the move, yeah.
Part of me, I was getting to an age where I was like, I'm not gonna make my mom go through this again. I'm not gonna make her go get all this stuff, because I didn't have a job. I was in second grade or third grade. But I was just I already have these toys. All that is a paint job. I could see through it at the time. But I don't know.
It was literally with the 1995 toys. It was literally just the same Mighty Morphin figures, chrome.
Yeah.
They didn't add the armor or anything. It was.
To be fair, though, did we really want toys of the Ooze movie Megazords?
Definitely didn't. The only Zord that I bought from that time period around that year was I did get the Shogun Zord, but I didn't get the movie one. I skipped out on that. I was like, I don't need this. But the Falcon Zord fit on the Shield Gun.
I got the ant monster that Ivan Ooze's ant robot. from a thrift store at one point when I was like,
Oh, that's funny. It's so
6.
funny going back and watching that stuff now. The CGI is so funny, but like at the time, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was actually better. Like I remember when I went to go see that with my parents. My parents were like, "Oh wow, they actually had like a budget on this," because they were used to watching the show with me and having like all the cardboard buildings fall down. They're like, "Oh, there's actually like computer graphics in this. Okay, great, cool."
I have a question for you. Did you ever catch that they put I won't repeat the line just because of YouTube purposes, but did you ever catch that they actually hit a really bad, dirty joke dialogue in Turbo?
No, I
The
did
pizza
not.
episode?
No, tell me offline. We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, I'll tell you offline. But
yeah, I didn't know that.
It's hilarious. And once you
Yeah.
catch what they're actually saying,
Really?
from an adult standpoint, it's you just cringe.
I totally missed out on that. I guess like as I got older, I also became way more into Sentai than I was into.
Oh yes,
Mighty
when did you
Thor.
get the Sentai? That I'd like to know.
Like years ago. It was probably, I mean, the first one that I watched I didn't watch it completely, but I watched a few Ranger episodes because I was like, oh, cool, the original, like this is the original stuff. So I thought that was cool, but then I went straight to Ranger, and then I skipped a bunch of stuff. And I just kind of watched as I like if it became convenient, I would watch some of it. I wouldn't watch full series. The first full Sentai series I actually watched was Gokaiger, and then I watched Gozeja right after that, and I like Gokaiger better. Gokaiger is my favorite series, like of all time. I've watched Q Ranger, love Q Ranger, we love it, but Gokaiger I think still has a special place in my heart. Maybe it's because it's the only one I watched, or the first one I watched full through. I'm literally catching up on Tokuger right now because my friend, again, those guys, Jared and Manny, both told me, they're like, dude, you're missing out. Tokuger's really good. So I'm checking that out now. And so far it's so good. I'm on episode 4. I just started it today.
Yeah, with Sentai, how did you find out about it? And you remember what year you exactly started?
I wouldn't be able to tell you the year, but I did know. I mean, I was one of the kids who knew that, like, I was like, this show is definitely not filmed in the United States. And I could tell that there was, like, I could tell what was happening. And I think that's because I knew about the Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Like, I was familiar with all of that stuff, and I had seen, before Power Rangers ever came out, like, I had seen, not full episodes, but, like, I've seen images of, like, Bioman and, like, Jetman and stuff. So, like, I kind of knew it existed. But then when it came out in America, I was like, oh, this is cool because I could like understand it.
Okay.
But I think growing up, like, what happened was, I mean, the US show, and even now, like Ninja Steel and like Dino Charge, for if the question is what's one of my favorite American series, it's Dino Charge. I love Dino Charge. I thought that was amazing. Dino Charge is such a great series, and I love Brennan. He's such a good guy. But
yeah, he even does. When they did the casting call for Go Busters or Beast Morphers, he literally made a video giving people advice on how to act to get into.
Which is such a good, that's just, it just shows you that like you're one with the franchise. You're into it. But yeah, I was just gonna say, like, as I grew up, since Sentai was a little bit more mature and serious, I got more into it. It just became something that like I could attach myself to because it wasn't as for little kids.
Right.
I feel like even now, like as time has gone on, I'm sorry, I'm getting on my train. Even as time has gone on, it's even more for kids now.
Yeah, it is. Now, I have
definitely
a question. Have you read the casting call?
I have. Yes.
You notice in there it says acting is not required?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they do that, and I think that's probably because, they need these people to act outside of the suits and be able to fight, and the cheaper option is to not have to hire a stunt double.
That's the one question I've always was just really confused about, because Saban is this multi-million-dollar company. Like, Haim Saban himself is one of the richest people alive. But yet, the way they make Power Rangers, it's like they're trying to not spend money at all.
That's probably how they get so much money, but...
Yeah, I mean, It's funny because what you're talking about is is the reason why they have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know anything about how. I'm sorry if the camera's getting very close up, but I'm on the train now and I don't want to bother a lot of people. But basically we all know what happened with the original Mighty Morphin cast, and when it came to some people leaving the show, and we'll never know numbers, and it's not our business. But at the same time, I don't know if that's the case anymore. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if it's the same conditions. Because I remember I went to a thing with David Yost where he did this really intimate, kind of just meet and greet, and we asked those questions what happened, what happened on MMPR? Why did everybody leave? What happened to this? Why did they get sent to a peace conference? And they were just talking about the working conditions, and none of them were union workers. Which give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna pause out for a sec. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
You might not be able to see me, but you might be able to hear me. I just gotta get my ticket ready.
That's fine.
I can hear you. So,
all right, great.
Kaz, do you have a question for him?
actually, I just wanted to say it's interesting to bring up David Yost because a couple years ago I actually had the opportunity to meet him at Rhode Island Comic Con, and I'm actually really excited for all the leaps and bounds that he's made, especially for the no hate movement.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely.
That got me thinking. It's out of all Ranger actors, who would you like? Obviously, you said Austin St. John is your favorite Ranger, but
one of them.
One of them. Okay, so let's talk second favorite then, and why.
You know what? I'd have to say it's a tie between JDF and David Yost, and here's why. JDF, badass character. I mean, you can't argue that. He was one of the most badass. But David Yost, I feel like as long with the time period that he was on the show, and what they did with his character in Zeo, we all thought he was going to be gold, man. And I still, to this day, don't get me wrong, I love that Austin came back. I thought that was the best thing they could have done if they did it already. Totally, that would have been amazing. Because imagine him being the wild card ranger. You have his brains, you have his strategy, and he's honestly been on the team for a really long time. And we know that he could fight. It would have been awesome.
Oh, definitely. David Yost or Billy is actually, David Yost is definitely one of my favorite Ranger actors, and Billy is my favorite Ranger actually.
And he had honestly, if you think about it, he had one of the best story arcs because he starts out as this really, really, really geeky character where Trini always has to translate for him because the words he uses are too geeky and long. But then what happens to him? He gets rid of the overalls. He starts coiffing his hair, gets rid of the glasses. By the time he's in the movie, Billy's buff, and he's he's a good-looking dude. He just always was under the glasses, and he honestly, and it's funny because when I started showing my fiance, who wasn't into Power Rangers at first when we first met, and she's looking at the cast, and she was like, "Ooh, who's this one?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Billy. Wow, interesting." That she's like, "Yeah, he's the best looking," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I heard that he actually auditioned also for Jason at first. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that he auditioned for the Red Ranger at first. Honestly, again, I think that he just went from geek, I'm going to say a really cliche term, but geek to chic. He really did. He Neville Longbottomed completely.
Mm-hmm. I actually remember one of his lines exactly. It's from the very first episode when they first go into the command center. And he sees Alpha.
Automaton?
Yeah. Whoa, it's a fully sentient multifunctional automaton.
Yeah. He remembers that too, trust me. He always says it at the cons. No, but yeah, I just feel like he went from a geek character to a really awesome character. And I wish that they did more with him, but there were things going on the set, and we all know what happened with that.
Yep. Sadly.
Yeah.
But I like how he handled it. He took everything he learned from his experiences on there and dealt with it all in a positive manner.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the guy now. He's got affirmative, which is awesome, and I think he, when it comes to, cons and dealing with fans like us, I think he understands them very well, and I think most Rangers do. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of Rangers do, but I've met actors, maybe not from Power Rangers, who don't, and it's always like kind of a strange conversation. He really gets it, and I had a few great conversations with him, again, at that meet and greet that he did, and then at Eternal Con in Long Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually live close to Michael Copon because I work for public partnerships and I mentor his cousin.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had met him for the first time the other day at Big Apple Con.
Oh, nice. Let's see here.
That's a series I like for another United States series. I love Time Force. Time Force is great.
Oh yes, definitely.
That's definitely a good one.
Yeah, it's actually funny you should mention Time Force. That was the first Power Rangers toy that I think I owned.
Oh, really?
Was the
really? Oh wow, you started late
Time
in the
Force sabers.
Oh, the big, yeah.
That linked into the clock hands. Yeah, I can't remember what they called it now that
Do you still have it?
No, unfortunately, through several moves, a lot of my stuff has disappeared.
Got it. Yeah. Luckily, my mom never moved, so everything is just in the attic. Yeah, my apartment, on my YouTube channel, I have a few things on my desk, but my entire collection is at home.
Now, have you seen a cartoon similar to Power Rangers called Mini Force? Is it Korean?
Wait, if we're talking about the same thing, it's an Asian show?
Yes, but it's
I
animated, and it has chibi animals.
Well, maybe we are talking about the same thing.
It is so very Korean that it's like no one who knows what they're looking at could ever think, well, these are very Japanese tropes. No.
Got it. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. There is a show that when I cruise through my Netflix, it looks like Power Rangers, and there's animals, but I don't know if it's the same show. It might be.
It is.
It is.
It is? Okay,
That's the only one on there.
I mean,
and then there's
PJ
a
Masks
mini turbo car
that
show by the same people. It's supposed to be in the same vein as Beyblade and stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't checked it out. I've been watching, I've been trying to catch up on Sentai, and the things that, I watch Voltron, obviously. I watch Sentai. I'm catching up on series that I either skipped over or haven't watched. And recently I've been watching a lot of movies, because there's definitely a lot of movies that I'm, for instance, I just went to go see Ready Player One. I just saw A Quiet Place with John Krasinski a few weekends ago.
Once again, I need to tell the chat people that we're going to do answer questions at the end. All right, guys, we're going to answer questions at the end. Stick with us. All right.
So I have actually one sort of a question. God, you know what? I had it on my mind, and now it's gone. Give me just a minute. You go ahead with your monologue, and I'm going to try to recover my train of thought here.
I probably went off on too much of a tangent. Sorry about that.
No, hold on. It's coming back to me now.
Let's see if I can.
Okay. So, knowing that you're a fan of Sentai, have you explored perhaps some of the Chinese live-action tokusatsu?
No, I don't think so.
It's one of those things where when you get into Toku and you're just desperate for something new.
Interesting. Well, what shows would I be missing out on?
Well, they've got an official YouTube channel that has an official English dub called Armor Hero. And then they've got a version of Sentai that's...
Check that out.
They've got a Sport Ranger?
Sport Ranger? Oh, that's right. Yes, Sport Ranger is part of the Chinese Sentai series.
Dude, you guys are gonna have to send me the stuff. I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely send me that stuff. Everyone keeps telling me to get into Kamen Rider. I haven't gotten into Kamen Rider, but I gotta start watching it.
Are you?
It's absolutely a great show.
Are you a huge gamer?
It's good. Not really. I play video games, but I think I'd be insulting a lot of people if I considered myself a gamer because I suck.
Okay. Okay, give me like something random, a random topic. I'll bet you between me and Kenny, we can find you a good Kamen Rider to start on.
Got it. Everyone keeps telling me to start with Build. Is that a good one?
Build is turning out to be pretty good, but in order to get a lot of what's going on in Build, there's another series you should watch first called Double. That's spelled W.
Okay. All right.
And not because of the story, well, partially because of the story, but mostly what you got to focus on is visual aesthetic. I swear to God, it was the same costume designer working on these two shows.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
But if you really wanted something that's a good starter, that really kind of captures what Kamen Rider is about, but is still kind of modern, I would say, okay, to break it up, it's like well, you've probably heard of it in the Sentai series too. There's the Showa era, the Heisei era, and in Kamen Rider there's now something they're calling the Neo Heisei era. It's unofficial, it's a fan term, but there is a distinction. Showa era is like from the original Kamen Rider in 1971 up to...
Like with the bug eyes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And the bug eyes stuck around, but...
And it's from 1971 up to Black RX, or Saban's Masked Rider, as you would know it in the U.S.
Yeah, Masked Rider, I know.
Coming up to like the mid-90s. That's when Kuga started. But if we're looking for a good starter, something that's easy to get into, especially for a Sentai fan, then a good bridge into the Kamen Rider series would be my personal favorite. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for this because a lot of people say it's too much like a Sentai. Kamen Rider Den-O.
Den-O, yes. Den-O is a mix of comedy, time travels. It's pretty much Japanese Back to the Future.
Oh, interesting. Well, you know what's
literally
funny
what it is.
I like something that I do like about Sentai is that it doesn't take itself too seriously anymore. Like, it knows all of its funny tropes and it like kind of plays on them. Like, I like that they do that now. Because if you watch Zyuranger, like, it's pretty. Zyuranger is actually like pretty serious. And so are all of the
had a lot of like lost brotherhoods and having to deal with actual death.
Like really, actual.
I guarantee you, if parents knew what Zyuranger was, they wouldn't be letting their kids watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the 90s.
Oh yeah. And in the Sentai episode of the Flower Monster, his whole thing is he wants to eat May. Like, he wants to eat May. Like, it's weird. Like, it's just a weird. It's a weird show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But that's why I recommend Den-O, because you've got a whole team of brightly colored individuals, each with a very distinct personality and distinct personality traits that cause them to clash together in a humorous comic foil.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than having a team of armored heroes, you have one guy that changes color.
Yeah.
Got it.
Also,
I'll definitely have to check it out.
Have you ever heard of Kamen Rider Amazons?
No, I'm honestly not familiar really with any of it. I just know like one guy has like the pink and blue eyes. I think that's more recent.
All right. Have you ever seen an anime? This is the best way to describe
pink hair thing.
Have you ever seen an anime called Tokyo Ghoul?
No.
Okay. Well, best way I can put Kamen Rider Amazons without comparing to something you've never seen. It's pretty much.
I mean, I'm into like...
It's like Kamen Rider, but R-rated.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I love anime, but I've never heard of that one.
Chaz, how can you describe Amazons?
Well,
it's live
without knowing Kamen Rider, it's kind of difficult. But back in the Showa era, very early on in Kamen Rider's life, there was a show called Kamen Rider Amazon, and rather than being based on a bug, his rider form was based more on a lizard creature. and it was more involved with the idea of magic. But the thing is, the season was cut in half because the Japanese television corporations decided there's too much gore. So they were like, you know what? Let's give Amazon another shot. But because we need to fill this time slot that Toei now has on Amazon Prime, we can now post something there. So they're like, well, what better to put on Amazon than bring back a writer called Amazon? But they revamped the story. They revamped the story being, instead of a magical floating island and a magic armband, into the whole idea of genetic, living weapons. They actually made the gore look less bright blue and green, and it was it looked more visceral.
Yeah, and also, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it on there because they just released it in the U.S. Like a few days ago.
Well, my fiance has it, so I'll definitely I'll be trying to check that out then. I've been watching everything on what I'll do. It's funny. I'll actually just Google watch Tokuger, and then I'll just go to the website. It has tons of ads, but I get through it. That's how I watch all of Q Ranger. Like I just stack the ads.
It's gonna have ads. It's gonna have ads, but we have a site for you after the stream.
We'll tell you on off the stream.
Got it.
But yeah, of course,
Does it start with a K?
Yeah. You'll occasionally get those.
Okay, yeah, no, I know that one.
Okay.
It's good.
Of course, you occasionally get pop-ups that say you have a virus when you don't.
Of course, yeah. MacKeeper, download MacKeeper. Yeah.
Yep. So, Shattered Grid.
Yes.
Oh man.
Going into this, I have not actually read a lot of it, but
there's only 2 issues.
Okay, I've not read any of it. Essentially, I'm going in with what has been given to me as information. I know of the existence of a character called Lord Drakon, which seems to have somehow taken the busted dragon and white tiger coins and crammed them into a crudely made morpher.
Yes. So are you familiar with where he comes from?
He was a prisoner for a long time, right?
No, he was a prisoner at one point in the comic, but Lord Drakon, what the storyline is if you remember the episode, so on the beach, when Jason defeats Tommy, he eventually becomes good, and they do their morph together. This character lives.
Uh-oh.
I think he went mute.
Can you guys still?
Yep.
Okay, so you said back to when Jason and Tommy were fighting on the beach.
Yes.
I think you're cracking out.
Can you hear me?
You're going off and on.
I think it's because of.
Well, your audio's stable now. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So Jason and Tommy on the beach.
Yeah, Jason and Tommy fight on the beach, and on the television show, that's not even the reality of the comic in general. Like the regular comic, when you're reading the comic, it's still not supposed to be completely the reality that we all know. But still, so what happens is you're following this regular timeline of Power Rangers, but what happens is, in another reality, there's a reality where Tommy never turns good. After Jason defeats him on the beach, he teleports out of there and still stays with Rita. And that's who Lord Drakon is. Mm-hmm. And in his world, in the reality that he's from, where he stays bad, he kills all the power. He kills Jason, he kills Trini. No, actually, I don't want to say that. There is a Trini still there. I think Billy's dead. But basically, he destroys the Power Rangers. And what the whole idea of Shattered Grid is that the morphing grid, can lead to different times in our reality, and he's using it so that he can destroy all the Power Rangers in our world, or in the world that's in the comic book. And that's what Shattered Grid actually means. So Lord Drakon, yes, is Tommy Oliver. He's used Ninjor basically to fuse his coins. And I don't want to tell you exactly what happens. I'd rather you read it, unless you actually want to talk about it. That's up to you.
I'm up to the point. Spoiler, everyone. Where he stabs Tommy in the back.
Yes, yeah. So in the Tommy that we know from the world that we've been following, he's dead. So he's gone. And so now the five original Rangers have to face Lord Draken along with Samurai Red so far and Time Force Pink.
Yep. And what we've gotten up to now is he has possessed a samurai power, which has upgraded his suit into a samurai form.
Yeah, which I call the Mega Man power. So basically, you know how Mega Man, you can like run around and grab the powers from the guys you defeat? That's basically what he's doing. So he takes their morpher, and then his suit turns a little bit more samurai, which is basically, again, what happens with Mega Man.
Yeah. I'm definitely loving where this comic series is going. I own Volume 1.
Dude, they took it to some crazy places. I can't even believe what they've been doing with it. Like, first of all, characters dying in the comic, A, and B, like, everyone has more of a backstory. I mentioned that in one of my videos, that like they're actually giving character depth to these characters that originally were written for a children's show. I mean, when you're writing characters for a children's show, they don't need a past. You don't need to know what's going on with their family. But in this, you learn that like Kimberly's parents, or something, you see Tommy's mother crying when he disappears. Like there's a lot of stuff going on that they never did in the show. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just trying to figure out what train I'm supposed to get on.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on one moment. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, awesome. I'm good.
Yeah. Yes, this comic is really it was really good, but also with the covers, how they have variants.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that one variant when everyone freaked out when they saw Hammy on the top edge corner?
Oh, for the new movie?
No, for the no, on the variant covers of the comic, there was one of the earlier concepts for one of them.
They had to take her off.
Yep.
Yeah, they had to take her off. That was a big mistake.
Did the artist even know what Sentai was at the time, or was he just looking at various Power Ranger costumes?
I'm not sure, and
without a clue.
I actually don't know. And the funny thing is I recently saw a picture of. So there's been this like fan art character called the Tyranno King. I recently actually just posted a picture. It's by this guy named Art of Tran, and he posts like this character that he made up, which is Jason, if he was the Red and had his Gold Ranger powers fused into one. But somebody recently made like some fan art of like live action, so it looks like the Red and Gold Ranger, but then they put Rocky's face on it. So what I think happened was that they just Googled who the Red Ranger was. They found Rocky, they found Steven Cardenas, and then put his face on this character. And I'm like, that's not the right guy, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's another thing on one of the comics, on one of the original, it's like probably issue 2 or 3, but there was a Boom comic where you see the Tyrannosaurus Zord, like a close up of it, and his orange and red sticker on his chest is upside down. Mm-hmm. So, again, I think it's funny because probably what happened was they just Googled a picture of the toy, found a picture of one where a kid put the sticker upside down and put that on the cover.
Yeah. Another thing, Nickelodeon was when they announced that Power Rangers was renewed for another season in 2019, a few months ago. They used a picture of Q Ranger.
Did they really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
That. I'm so sorry, guys. Hang on one sec. My phone is dying, and I don't want to cut. I'm at like 3%, and I don't want to cut out on you guys. I'm just gonna look for an outlet, and if I can't find one, like if I die on you, I apologize.
All good, man.
Hopefully, I don't. I think there's one over here, but yeah, I didn't know that. That's actually funny. I mean, people who aren't familiar with the series probably just see a bunch of people dressed up in colorful spandex. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Yep.
This is good enough.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like, I don't watch Power Rangers or Sentai nearly as much as I used to. I used to be much more into it. As a matter of fact, it was me getting back into Power Rangers that got me into Kamen Rider today. Yet I'm the one here,
gotcha.
like between me and Kenny, because we're both making like YouTube toku shows. I don't know if he told you. I'm the one making more like the Sentai one.
Oh, interesting.
In fact,
but you're more the Kamen Rider guy.
Would you like to tell Geek Level Asian like what our plan is?
Wait, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me switch. Is it okay if I switch to my iPad? I have my iPad with me.
Sure. Yeah, we'll invite you back in. Just
all
right.
Text me on Instagram.
All right, I'll be back.
Yep. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. We will get him right back on as soon as possible.
All right. Let's go into questions while we're waiting. All right.
Yeah, I
let's
suppose it's a good enough time.
BTS texting stories, which is Kai, has said, by the way, hello Chaz, I apologize for not being able to make it in the streams.
But no problem, Kai. Real life comes first.
And I do not know. I will I believe he's Japanese. I'm not sure though. I thought I remember hearing it somewhere. And yes, we are going till 9 still.
Yep, so we got another 20 minutes at least.
Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting for Geek Level Asian,
so
let's talk a little bit about just what we can expect in the future, because I think everyone's still, everyone who knows what Toku is still kind of excited about our Toku shows.
All right,
let's talk. Oh, sweet. Okay, drop them in.
All right.
This song's been stuck in my head all day.
All right.
Wait, no. No, wait. Did I have a potentiometer around here somewhere?
All right, you were saying?
Oh, so while we wait for Geek Level Asian, let's talk a little bit about, because you recently released the Henshin video for your new hero, and I was just wondering if you'd like to announce to the audience what kind of like we can expect in the future.
Okay. In terms of the future, once I have the writing down, I will get a group of people together to actually play villains. I'll be filming it at TCC on campus, possibly over the summer. At summer camp also. In terms of a setup and all that, it'll be different. So I'll have to explain, like, maybe my story will start as like I'm away from base. But yeah, it'll be a whole noir type setup. Like, not to give away into the story, but that's just the theme. Like, I'll be using a lot of tropes from noir-based films, talking, or like you'll hear my voice while I'm in deep thought, investigating. Also, but just to give away a little bit, the toy reviews, or the story will revolve around toy reviews that are and mysterious toys that have been given to me. They'll have a note attached to them with a clue. And then as each toy review is done, the story progresses from there. And I'm trying to find out who's giving me these toys to review, why in the first place, and then it'll eventually lead into a deeper story, which will connect to the wider reviewerverse.
So what about the costume for your hero?
Oh yes. His name is Plastibon, or Toy Hero Plastibon. That's right? You helped me with the name.
Yeah, it was either Toy Hero or Review Hero Plastibon.
Yeah, Review Hero. All right, he is ready.
Hey,
Perfect.
Awesome. So,
Awesome. One sec. Let me just attach my headphones to the iPad now. So sorry. Hang on one sec. Let me just get this figured out. I know that I can do this in a sec.
All right.
And I have way more battery on this.
Okay, so,
I was about to. You were asking me to tell them about sort of our project here.
yes.
So, we are creating sort of. I don't want to call it I guess in a way it's an entertainment universe.
Well, do you want to explain where it all started? Briefly?
Okay, so if you're aware of a. Oh,
Hey, can you hear me?
now I can, okay.
Okay, perfect. So sorry about that. Okay, yeah, I'm all set now.
So if you're.
So yeah, the project.
If you're aware of a YouTuber who goes by the handle Apollo Z Hack,
No.
maybe Monstrosities, a tokusatsu vlog.
No. Wow. I'm just like out of the loop here.
He's kind of niche, but you know he's a really cool guy. He started this whole thing called the Reviewiverse a few years back,
Okay.
and it was sort of like a big superhero crossover thing
Oh, cool.
where all the reviewers had powers.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's
We
a
are sort
cool
of the
idea.
generation 2 of that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So what powers do you guys have?
Well, to start, I am part of a group that's going to be called Otaku Senki Reviewger.
Okay.
I am
That's so
Otaku
good.
Red, the hero of the review hero, standing for the dreams
Reviewer.
of children that have been cast in plastic.
Oh, that's awesome. Reviewer. I love that.
And then there's going to be a guy doing board games, a guy doing anime, and a guy doing comics. And then
Got
Kenny's got his own thing going on here that's sort of in the same universe.
Yeah, called Review Hero Plastabon.
Okay.
And he's a toy reviewer who is kind of a Kamen Rider type hero. His belt's made out of Legos. And he puts Hot Wheel cars in it to activate.
Oh, cool.
And each of his power-ups come from the depending on the theme of the Hot Wheel car. So
are you gonna wear that every time you do the episodes?
Well, once I transform into it, yes, there will be fight scenes within the episodes.
Oh, cool. That's a cool idea.
And like for example, if I have at some point I as sort of a humorous joke within the episodes, I'll have like food truck based themed Hot Wheel cars for when I want to get a snack during.
Oh, that's awesome.
As part of the story. So like I'll put an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile within the belt, and then a hot dog will appear in my hand, and I'll just go like walking in the park.
That's a good idea.
And
it's funny that you say that because I've been wanting to make a Geek Level Asian Gokai key. Because one of my second cosplay is going to be Gokai Silver, so I want to do a thing where I turn into Gokai Silver, and then I meet somebody who wants to talk about Sentai, so I take out the Geek Level Asian key and I use it and I turn back into myself.
Do it.
It
would be even cooler if I got Cameron Jebo to be in it. Like, this is like pipe dreaming, but like if I can get Cameron Jebo to morph into, Super Mega Force Silver, and then he morphs into me, that would be even funnier. That'd be hilarious.
That's great.
But that's cool. You guys have some good ideas. What was I gonna say? Like, when is this stuff launching?
We're in the pre like writing stages of this right now, and just getting things together.
Got it.
We've got a rough outline, more or less. It's all skeletal right now, so that we can fit it in with each other.
Sure.
Then we're gonna start building around it.
Yeah.
What I can tell you really quick is that the overall theme of all this is that the Reviewiverse that I mentioned earlier has shattered into what we call zones. So there's a toy zone, or a board game zone, or an anime zone.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is what my character looks like.
Yeah.
His name is
well,
Ace.
not only that, it's the viewers too, like, who are gonna like tune in. They know which person to, if they want to watch toy reviews, they go to this person. If they want to watch anime, they go to this person. It makes sense.
Yeah. And just around my story, it's gonna be based around a noir theme. So like you'll hear like smooth jazz music playing in the background. I'll be like, I'm gonna be like a freelance detective type character,
Oh,
or
that's
independent.
funny.
And that's actually why my attire looks like this.
I could totally see a freelance detective guy in a Sentai. Like, I could totally just see that happening. But him being like the, like the comic relief character who like comes in and like messes everything up.
My inspiration for this character, ironically enough, was actually a freelance detective, except he worked with a partner, but it was actually from Kamen Rider Double.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So do you guys, did you guys meet over the web, or are you guys in the same area?
Oh, we met through this app called Amino, and then it's like the anime Amino, and we were talking about YouTube reviewers in a Tokusatsu chat, and then he said, and I mentioned I was a YouTuber and really liked toy reviews, and he invited me in and asked me if I wanted to be a part of this channel.
That's awesome.
And he's helped me really build up on skills that I needed to learn to do toy reviews and reviews in general.
Sweet. That's awesome. I'm trying to dive into toy reviews myself. I've done a few. I got to get more stuff. Get more stuff to you.
Hold on just 1 second. Big ass bug got in the room.
Oh.
Ooh.
So where are you two from?
Well,
Virginia.
I am actually from New England.
Okay.
Virginia. Oh, you go to cons a lot in it. What do you travel out of state to cons also?
Sometimes. I recently, the last one I went to was
The
actually
climb from hell.
the last one that was out of state I went to was Rhode Island Comic Con. And this weekend I'm going to East Coast Comic Con, which is in New Jersey, but it's not that far.
Okay.
It's about an hour's drive from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, what are the chances that you can make it to a Virginia con in November?
In November, probably not too difficult. Virginia is not too far from New York. It would just be, it would just depend on basically work. It would depend on work.
Because he actually might be going too, depending on if he makes it into the Gundam finals for the Gundam.
Yeah, I'm attempting to enter the Gunpla Builders World Cup this year.
Wow. What do you mean attempting? Is it hard? Like, is it hard to get into?
Well, it's kind of you have to build a Gunpla model kit within that year. And there's a deadline, and you have to have your entry done by that deadline, fitting a certain number of rules.
Wow.
And it takes a lot of effort to get it to be tournament quality. But,
Sure.
there's going to be I'll be actually heading to the New York Comic Con to enter.
Oh, nice. Oh, you're going to be in New York Comic Con? Because I go every year.
Hopefully, if I have my kit done.
Gotcha. Yeah, but November isn't unrealistic for me. If you could give me information of the website to the con, I'll take a look at the dates and how much it is, and see if I could take the trip.
All right, we've got a question from a viewer here who's a big fan of Asian culture in general. He asks if you're of Korean or Japanese descent.
I am Korean.
Ah, well, because he's a big fan of K-pop and all that, and he says he usually his gut's right on this. So, and that's what he was guessing.
The funny thing is that when people ask me that, so my parents are not Asian, which sounds funny, but yeah.
I'm sure there's a good explanation.
Yes. So I'm adopted, and my parents are mostly Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So when people ask me, like, "Oh, are you Korean or Japanese?" Yeah, right. I'm like, "Oh, I'm Korean," and then they're like, "Oh, do you know this? I'm like, "Oh no, I don't know any of that. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means." But which happens often. But yes, I'm Korean.
Nice. He says, "Yay."
See, not to bash K-pop. I never got into it. Personally,
Neither
it's
did I.
gotta have one of these in it if I'm gonna really be enthusiastic about it.
Sure.
You
And
know,
K-pop doesn't have a lot of those in it. I'm actually a guitar player myself, so I know how you feel.
What form of guitar? Because Chaz is a guitar player also.
So before I did Geek Level Asian, I used to tour in a rock band from the ages of like 18 to 24. I stopped doing that when there was just no more money in it for me. My current setup is I'm playing through a Gibson ES 347, which is an old 80s style like ES. Would it be more like a? Well, basically, it's like a hotter version of what those all semi-hollow guitars. It's like the
like
pickups
the
are a
old
little hotter.
so it's like an earlier 335.
Like a yeah, or 339 maybe, but with hotter pickups.
So
But,
I'd like to apologize to the audience if you don't know a lot about guitars, but this is
Yeah,
good.
right. Yeah.
But yes,
So
actually,
I'm also
it's funny you should mention that because I'm actually my favorite guitar is a hollow body.
nice. Yeah, I was looking at Gretsch's first, but I'm coming from. So I used to have a Gibson Les Paul double cut, and then I went to a Telecaster, but now I'm on the Gibson semi hollow.
Yeah. So you're like was it like a Squire or a Fender Telly?
I had a Fender American Standard, which I liked. It was just very generic. Like it just didn't have a lot of character to it. I used to have an Ernie Ball Music Man X Super Sport too, which is funny because I'm not a huge Eddie Van Halen fan, even though that's like his signature guitar, or was before he went to PV. But
Oh yeah, but it's like, well, he had the Frankenstrat
tiny
too.
neck guitars. Yeah.
You listen to metal?
His Goose Kramer. Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite group or band?
Metal, it really depends. So if we're talking about like, I mean, one of my favorite metal-ish bands would be August Burns Red. Really like August Burns Red. I mean, Thrice is up there. You know, if
I'm
you could
classic.
consider Thrice metal
I'm
anymore.
classic. I go for Avenged Sevenfold, AC/DC, Metallica.
Well, it's interesting that the funny thing is I played with Avenged Sevenfold at Taste of Chaos, like 2008, I think it was.
You did?
Yeah, a long time ago. It was at Nassau Coliseum in Long Island.
Dude, Chaz, you hear that? He's played with Avenged Sevenfold.
That's pretty freaking cool.
I have.
You know,
We
it's
opened
interesting.
We opened up for Avenged Sevenfold Atreyu Bullet for My Valentine on the Taste of Chaos tour 2008. We won the Ernie Ball contest.
Kick ass.
Yeah, it was cool.
You still tour?
No, dude. I'm 33 now. I stopped when I was 24. It's a long time ago.
It's funny you
is
should
there
mention
video
getting
of your
Gretsch
band?
because, like,
I looked. I'll send you a picture. I looked very different back then.
You
I
have
had
video of
the
your
ring.
guys performing?
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll show you some stuff.
Sweet.
And I'll send you pictures of what I used to look like. You'll get a kick out of it.
Dude, I feel like I'm gonna talk to you more often through Hangouts
Yeah,
or
right.
Instagram, whatever.
Right? And I'll show you. I still make music. It's not metal, but I'll show you what I've been doing recently.
Ooh, definitely.
I've actually
Post-rock project now.
yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like, this is what I've been using in I'm not gonna call it a studio. It's more of a musical. Yeah, it's a Gretsch Electromatic GE422 TDC.
Sweet.
So
nice.
it's got the walnut finish, the Electromatic pickups, which are like Filtertrons, and the Bigsby Trem Bridge.
And I love the Bigsby's. See, I wanted to get a Bigsby on my telly, but I just didn't want to ruin the bridge, so I just never put it on. Which is kind of
it's interesting you mentioned that because they actually make one specifically for the telly now.
I know, and that's the thing. Well, I sold it already, so that's over.
Yeah, there goes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
actually got something to show you.
Like the amp that I play through now, I play a vintage amp. I play through a Silvertone 1484, like old Sears stuff, like really old amp.
Yeah, Silvertone has got like, okay, so the fact that it's a Sears and Roebuck brand aside, Silvertone has some really cool. Like, I don't know if you ever played the 1303.
Is that the bass version?
No, it's like
No, I haven't.
it's a bit like the shape is like a Les Paul, but it's got lipstick pickups in it. Anyway, we're probably confusing like the minds out of our poor audience.
Is that the one that? Is that the one that comes in the case with the speaker in it?
No, that's the 1405. But
okay.
The 1303 was much less exciting.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, we've gone way off topic.
Let's go back to cosplay for a second, because I actually wanted your opinion or something. So I'm doing
Sure.
it. Next week, I'm actually going to a convention at a library. I'm cosplaying the Red Ranger, but underneath the helmet, I'm wearing a Keith wig. I don't have it with me right now because I just got it from a friend of mine, and she's giving it to me on Tuesday.
Cool.
Like Voltron. So I'll be cosplaying Keith in a Red Ranger suit. I decided to take one of my extra power coins, because I have a few, and then spray paint it yellow. You like that cartoonish look?
Got it.
What do you think?
From what I can see, it's a little blurry from where I am, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, what would be pretty sick if you got like a Voltron coin.
I wish.
Right? We all wish.
Since Voltron is animated, I decided to take one of my. I have a few Tyrannosaurus coins. I decided to take one of them and spray paint it yellow just to get that cartoonish look.
Oh yeah, man! I post a picture of it. Like
I will.
When you get it all together.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I need now is the Keith wig.
Oh yeah, his mullet. You need his mullet.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Well, it is 9 o'clock now. I think we should do our closing and then talk for a little bit afterwards.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to Geek Level Asian's channel. I will send a link to it in the description below once this stream is up as a video. Just thank you all for watching again. Would you like to say anything, Geek Level Asian, to close?
Sure. First, thanks for having me. Really do appreciate it. I love doing stuff like this. Meeting you guys. Rangers live chat. I recently did something with them, and I couldn't be more thankful. This is like the fact that I'm getting to meet so many people who are part of the Ranger community just through geeking out about it on the internet is pretty awesome. So thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to the cosplay. We have to talk about guitars. We'll probably do that. I'll send you guys some videos and funny pictures of me when I looked a lot sillier than I do now. Maybe I look very silly still, but yeah, yeah. Well,
you're talking to the guy who's got like a friggin' scraggly beard and the hair about as long goes down to his ass. You're not gonna look any sillier than me.
Hey, in a few months, we're having Music Month for our where we talk about nothing but music-related things. So if you want, to get it back on again and talk about music with us, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you guys wait, hang on. Let me get through this. I gotta get through a turnstile, and I don't want to die. Hang on one sec. All right, let me get through this turnstile here. Okay. But yeah, and definitely send me the information on that con. I'm totally interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. I can give that to you easily.
I'm trying to get through as many of them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can definitely give you that information on that con.
Awesome.
All right, so let's do a closing now.
All right, so thanks everyone for watching. It's been great, and as always, we will see you next time, Weekend Warriors.
Stay more phenomenal, everybody. You got a closing?
May the power protect you.